Yeah, look, I definitely think it's a possibility. If for all intents and purposes, you say he doesn't even want to fight me, he does want to get a hold of a belt again. Like no matter what, being able to say you for him, what would it be,
Three
three
times.
times? Yeah, three times. Like he's that in of itself as a tagline. Knowing Fury, know how he likes to, what he likes to say, and how he likes to hype things up. That's a tagline. I can imagine him running along a beach shouting, screaming three time, and whatever else. So I'm sure even if he sees me as a little bit of an obstacle, the belt was enough to entice him. So
The heavyweight division just woke up to a shock that nobody saw coming. For months, the headlines have been dominated by rumors, retirements, and the usual chaos that follows the biggest men in the sport. But just days into 2026, the silence was broken. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, has officially agreed to return to the ring. But he didn't just announce a comeback. He issued a challenge that came with a very specific, unspoken set of rules. One brutal condition that could either cement his legacy forever or end it in the most humiliating way possible. And the man he's targeted? It's not Alexander Usyk. It's not Anthony Joshua. It is the newly crowned undisputed chaos bringer of the division, Fabio Wardley.
look, I hope he's done well. I hope he's training hard, shedding the pounds. I think he's in Thailand or something like that, enjoying the sun and the weather.
Kevin Lorena, him and Kevin Lorena here.
Yeah, so look, I hope they're having a good time out there. If he is going to have a little warm up, then look, I hope he's fit, healthy. I hope he comes through it. I hope it's not a banana skin and throws everything in the works. And look, if that is really what you want to do, I don't think you need to, because it's just little old me. Don't worry about it. I'm no trouble. But if you do need a little warm up, then fine, do what you got to do. But after you're done, give me a call.
What makes this terrifying for the rest of the heavyweight landscape isn't just the fight itself, it's the response. Fabio Wardley didn't hesitate. He didn't ask for time to think. He publicly accepted the challenge immediately, telling the world he is extremely keen to welcome the legend back to the canvas. But beneath the hype and viral headlines, a much darker game is being played. Fury isn't just coming back for money, he's coming back because the landscape has shifted in a tragic and unexpected way. Today, we are going to break down exactly what this brutal condition is, why Wardley is the most dangerous opponent Fury could have possibly picked, and the heartbreaking reason why the fight the world wanted, Fury versus AJ, is officially off the table.
Fury did mention Wardley's name, fighting for the WBO title. Fury Wardley would be pretty badass.
I love that matchup. If the Joshua fight can't materialize, Fury and Wardley, love it. I love it. It makes so much sense in so many different ways. It's the old lion and the new lion coming up, and that's a timing thing. Does Tyson have one more epic night in him, or are we going to see the changing of the guard where Wardley dethrones the former king and is now a major player?
To understand why this fight is happening now, you have to look at where Tyson Fury is mentally. Usually, when a fighter teases a comeback, they do it from a press conference or a polished studio interview. Fury did it from a sweaty, grimy gym in Thailand, looking like a man possessed. In a video that instantly went viral, we saw a version of Fury that we haven't seen in years. He was dripping with sweat, hitting the pads with scary intensity, and screaming, "2026 is the year, the return of the Mac."
Dreams in a concrete room, blood on the mat, but we still make space. His name Tyson Fury. Been down, face to the floor, bright light blurry. Be hurry, still stood, came back for more. Sound of the backbone from the beam. It's popping the boom, he's turning pain into steam.
This wasn't the polished, media-friendly Fury. This was a man who looked bored with civilian life. He explicitly stated he has nothing better to do than punch men in the face. But amidst the shouting and the training montage, he dropped a specific name that froze the division. He called out Fabio Wardley, dubbing him Big Smoke. He said, "Big Smoke for the GK after a long layoff. Could be an option later in 2026, God willing."
Brutal.
Hard.
Brutal, mate.
15 rounds.
15 rounds and one for free, so 16
And we're in
for the
the
price of 15.
And we're in the trenches.
We're in the basement.
We're in the
We're
basement.
taking it to deep water this time. There ain't no leaving it to no judges, no referees.
Nah.
We're coming for the KO.
That's what we had to do. Anyone can get it.
Anyone can get it.
By calling Wardley Big Smoke, Fury is acknowledging something he rarely admits. that Wardley brings the fire. It's a sign of respect, but it's also a strategic mind game. Fury knows that Wardley is the man of the moment. He knows the British public is obsessed with Wardley's rise from white-collar boxing to world champion. By attaching his name to Wardley now, Fury is inserting himself back into the main event conversation without having to fight a technical wizard like Usyk immediately. But if Fury thinks this is just a tune-up fight to shake off the ring rust, he might be making the biggest mistake of his career.
Your title, will you be having a fight soon? Because that is what everyone wants to know.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. That's the plan. I've been hoping that throughout my career, I've always been the one chasing, hunting for the people with world titles and those big honours. So now I've got one, I think it's a little bit easier. I can kind of sit back. People are hunting after me, so I can almost take my pick a bit. So yeah, hopefully sometime soon. Maybe April, May, something like that.
And linked with Derek Chisora?
Yeah, Del Boy himself. I know he's on the hunt. He wants a big finish to his career. Obviously, he's on 49 fights at the moment. He wants to finish on that big 50. So a world title shot is probably the best way to do that. So we're having some broad conversations, some broad chats. I know people would like that matchup.
Yeah, you know I'm going to ask you about Tyson Fury as well. He's posted on his Instagram suggesting that he'd like to fight you this year. Would you welcome a fight against Fury?
Yeah, more than welcome it. More than welcome it. It'd be a fight that I'm hugely up for. But myself, I like to target some of the big names in the division, the big boys, the top players, and look, he's one of those guys. So yeah, look, give me a call anytime. Yeah,
you know I'm just going to reel off some more names to you. So yeah. What about a British showdown with Daniel Dubois? He hasn't fought since he was beaten by Alexander Usyk, of course, but would you take that one?
Yeah, look, another great fight. I think you seeing us two matched up would be a fantastic fight. Like you say, he hasn't had a win coming off that loss as of yet. So maybe look, a little win to bounce back into things, and then we can get something heated up later in the year.
And heated up later in the year, could that be Usyk? Would you consider a crack at the undisputed title?
Yeah, look, that's number one. That's number one. When I got the belt, that was the hope that, okay, that's what we get to have a go at. Usyk being the top dog, he runs the game at the moment. So, yeah, that was the one I wanted. If it doesn't come this early or not, then hopefully, yeah, later in the year, we'll be able to get.
Most fighters, when called out by Tyson Fury, would instantly go on the defensive or start demanding ridiculous money on social media. Fabio Wardley did neither. His response was cold, calculated, and terrifyingly calm. In an interview with Sky Sports, Wardley didn't look like a man who had just won the lottery. He looked like a man who had just been handed his next victim. Wardley said, "Look, it's something I'd be really keen for. I haven't got a world title just to take easy fights. I'd be extremely keen to see if he's genuine." But then he dropped the line that should send shivers down Fury's spine. He referred to himself as a banana skin. He told the press, "As fighters of late have found out, I'm quite the banana skin. I'd back myself against anyone in this division."
Yeah, look, I think it's on the cards for at some point this year. Maybe even if it is and he feels like he needs some kind of warm-up, which I wouldn't necessarily see why. But if he does and he wants to do something like that, then fine, no problem. And I'll still be here.
Are you aiming for a specific month, date, time, and where you want to be at, or is it a case of, look, I'm here, there's whatever fight next? It's kind of big, whoever it is, I think, at the minute, because you can't really, where you are, go backwards. And although you'll have your people who are in line for the title as well, and they're all decent names. So when do you sort of foresee yourself being back in the ring?
Probably, I don't know, April, May, something like that. Like, I'm still trying to stay busy and active. I'm not trying to sit on the shelf. I'm not trying to rush at the same time, but I still want to be out and going and fighting regularly, world title or not. I still want to be in the mix of doing those things. So yeah, look, it's just that we need to find someone that will fit in that time frame.
This is the danger zone. Wardley knows exactly what he is. He knows he isn't the technical genius that Usyk is. He knows he doesn't have decades of amateur pedigree, but he has something scarier. He has the power to turn the lights out in a split second, and he has the momentum of a freight train. He warned Fury not to treat him as a stepping stone, saying, "I'm not going to run off with my belt." Wardley is signaling that he isn't just happy to be there, he plans to be the one who retires the Gypsy King permanently.
If, for all intents and purposes, you say he doesn't even want to fight me, he does want to get a hold of a belt again. Like, no matter what, being able to say, for him, what would it be? Three times? Yeah, 3 times. Like, he's that in of itself is a tagline. Knowing Fury, know how he likes to, what he likes to say, and how he likes to hype things up. That's a tagline. I can imagine him running along a beach shouting, screaming 3 times and whatever else. So I'm sure even if he sees me as a little bit of an obstacle, the belt is enough to him.
We need to talk about the belt because this is where the power dynamic has completely flipped. A few years ago, Fabio Wardley was a prospect fighting on undercards. Today, he is the WBO World Heavyweight Champion. This happened after Alexander Usyk, the man who conquered the division, decided to vacate the title rather than face a mandatory defense, opting instead to chase a fight with Deontay Wilder. When Usyk dropped the belt, Wardley, who had just obliterated Joseph Parker in a shocking 11th round knockout in October 2025, was elevated to full champion status.
With the WBO Heavyweight Champion of the World, Fabio Wardley! Hello, up mate. In here!
I can't move around like you fucking follow me about.
Where's your belt? Where's the belt?
I ain't got it yet.
Magic, where's the belt? Where's the belt?
It's in the post. It's in the post.
Congratulations.
Thank you, mate.
Do you know what? Normally, if you've got a little gimme for your last fight, I would have said, all right, wait till Fabio has to fight again, and then like, but you beat Joseph Parker, so you're a legitimate champion in my eyes.
I don't have no gimmies, mate. It's just get stuck in back to back, big hard fights. Look, it was a great fight, and it was everything I wanted as well. It was like it was a fight that was like worth. The title wasn't on the line, but it was a fight. It was a world title worthy fight as well. So yeah, look, I had it all.
But you ain't got the belt yet, no?
No, not yet. But look, everyone knows I'm the champ, don't they?
What up?
This changes everything. Tyson Fury is no longer the king sitting on the throne offering crumbs to the peasants. Fury is the challenger. Wardley is the ruler. For the first time in his comeback, Fury needs Wardley more than Wardley needs Fury. Wardley has the gold. Wardley has the momentum. And perhaps most importantly, Wardley has the aura of invincibility that comes from knocking out a veteran like Parker. The narrative isn't Fury gives a kid a shot anymore. It's, can the old legend take the belt from the young lion?
We'll go on to a potentially huge fight for you. We've seen it kind of all over social media. Tyson Fury, a bit of back and forth with that kind of situation. When you saw that Fury said he'd fight you, what was your reaction to that?
I was like, yeah, great, that's gonna be easy then. I said it before as well. He was on my list, so he was one of the ones I was hunting. I come into the year with a list of names, and he was on there as well. So to hear I'm on his, I was like, great, that marries up perfectly then.
He said he'd see how his return went. Do you see that as in backing down a little bit after the?
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. For me, I feel like someone maybe at this stage of his career, he's had these kind of retirements, then I'm back, retirements, then I'm back. They're nothing new to him. So needing like him maybe insinuating a bit that he needs a warm up or something is a bit like, well, what for? Like it's not like you're going to gain any more experience or it's gonna like I know you maybe need to shake it out a bit, but realistically, at this stage in your life and your boxing career, I think you've been around the block enough to know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And hey, it's just little old me. What are you worried about?
Little old me that can go in there, be losing 10 rounds and just spark you out. Yeah, little old me.
It's just little old me. Don't worry, I'm no trouble.
Oh yeah, of course not. Is this a likely fight you think we'll see in 2026?
Yeah, it's in there. It's definitely in the mix. How likely to be either next or in the immediate future, in like maybe the first 6 months of the year, that's different questions. But it to happen over the span of the year, I definitely think there's a strong likelihood.
However, there is a somber elephant in the room. Why are we talking about Wardley versus Fury? Why aren't we talking about the fight that was supposedly planned for the Riyadh season? Fury versus Anthony Joshua? The reality is heartbreaking. The heavyweight division was rocked recently by a tragic accident involving Anthony Joshua in Nigeria. While Joshua escaped the car wreck with minor injuries, the crash claimed the lives of his close friends and team members. It was a devastating event that has understandably put Joshua's career on an indefinite pause as he processes the grief and trauma of that night. With Joshua stepping away from the spotlight to heal, a massive vacuum opened up in the British heavyweight scene. The Battle of Britain that everyone expected is gone. This left the promoters and the network scrambling for a replacement, a fight that could still sell out stadiums and capture the public's imagination. That is why Fury looked at the landscape and pointed his finger at Fabio Wardley. It's the only fight left that carries that level of domestic magnitude.
Clash could be available to Tyson Fury if his showdown with Anthony Joshua falls through. Fabio Wardley, the newly crowned WBO title holder, is willing to give the former WBC champ a shot at his throne. I'd more than welcome it, Wardley said on Sky Sports Boxing. That would be a fight that I'm hugely up for. Give me a call anytime. The matchup with Wardley, 20-0 with 1 draw and 19 knockouts, may catch Fury's attention now that Joshua is attempting to wrap his mind about what recently happened. Of course, and he needs as much time as he needs, as we all know. Let's wait and see what happens there. It's unclear what Joshua will do next. In the meantime, Wardley has made it known that he would love to face Fury, while a fight against former champion would be terrific. Fury isn't his #1 option. The one I want the most is Alexander Usyk, said Fabio Wardley. I know he's playing around with a fight with Deontay Wilder, so maybe not right now. None of us really want to see the Wilder fight, to be honest with you. The best option for me would be Tyson Fury. He's a huge name, big character in the game. He's someone I would love to hop in the ring with.
So what is the brutal condition that is making headlines? It comes down to the business of boxing, and it is as ruthless as the sport itself. Despite Wardley holding the belt, and despite Wardley being the active fighter with the highlight reel knockouts, the condition for Fury's return is simple. He must be the A-side. Even without a belt, Fury demands the lion's share of the purse and the top billing. He is demanding that the world champion bow to the star power of the Gypsy King.
Actually, a huge fight for you. We've seen it kind of all over social media. Tyson Fury, a bit of back and forth with that kind of situation. When you saw that Fury said he'd fight you, what was your reaction to that?
I was like, yeah, great, that's going to be easy then. I said it before as well. He was on my list, so he was one of the ones I was hunting. I come into the year with a list of names, and he was on there as well. So to hear I'm on his, I was like, great, that marries up perfectly then.
He said he'd see how his return went. Do you see that as in backing down a little bit after the...
Yeah, I guess, maybe. I don't know, for me, I feel like someone maybe at this stage of his career, he's had these kind of retirements, then I'm back, retirements, then I'm back. They're nothing new to him, so needing like him maybe insinuating a bit that he needs a warm-up or something is a bit like, well, what for? Like, it's not like you're going to gain any more experience, or it's going to, like, I don't know, you maybe need to shake it out a bit, but realistically, at this stage in your life and your boxing career, I think you've been around the block.
But there is a second unspoken condition that is even more brutal. It's the condition of legacy. Fury is returning on the condition that he risks absolutely everything. If he comes back and loses to Usyk again, people will say Usyk was just better. But if he comes back and gets knocked out by Fabio Wardley, a man who started in white-collar boxing, Fury's entire mystique evaporates. The condition of this fight is that Fury is betting his entire history against Wardley's future. He is wagering his status as an all-time great on the hope that his legs haven't gone and his chin can still hold up. We are looking at a classic collision course. On one side, you have Tyson Fury, 37 years old, training in the heat of Thailand, trying to convince the world and himself that he is still the man who beat Vladimir Klitschko. On the other side, you have Fabio Wardley, the WBO champion who has been knocking people out for fun, sitting calmly and waiting for the legend to step into his trap.
Ultimately, whether it's Chisora or another big name, Wardley is simply happy to be in this position. Ever since he became champion, the tables have turned. I've always been the one chasing and hunting people with the world titles, Wardley said. Now I've got one, so it makes things a little easier. I can kind of sit back and people are hunting me. Is there anything to add? No, there isn't. So that's what I have heard. Now, in all honesty, it would make a lot of sense. Derek Chisora coming at the fight number 50, he doesn't want to go out. Like, Chisora didn't, originally he said he wanted to have the final fight in Africa, but like, it's apparent that's not going to happen. Then it was going to be against Dillian Whyte. I think they were talking of doing that on, in fact, I actually think they were going to do it on pay-per-view. Didn't happen. You know, Chisora, as many people have said, I think he even said it himself, he drives a hard bargain, so make it out what you will. But Chisora, I don't think he just wants to face anybody for his 50th fight. I mean, I know he gave a list of people he wanted to fight after he fought Otto. I think Usyk was there, Joshua was there, I think maybe Dubois was there, I'm not sure about that, but he doesn't want to go out fighting John Doe. He doesn't want to go out with an easy win. He wants to go out with something. And look, a prime Chisora versus Wardley, stylistic. I might even favour Chisora in that fight, to be honest with you. Prime for prime, I might actually favour Chisora because that's a really good fight. Now, Chisora still has more left in the tank than the likes of Dylan White and people like that, but he still has to fight in spurts. And beaten soundly by Parker in the rematch. Not the scorecards were close, but he's beaten soundly in the rematch. The first fight, yeah, that was close. That was genuinely close. But right now, but that was what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago, actually. Jeez, 2026, 5 years ago. So it's been a long time. At this point now, I think Wardley would soundly beat Chisora. Chisora's not going to box him like a Justice Uni or a Joseph Parker. He's going to take it to him. And we've seen what happens when you try and take it to Fabio Wardley. If you aren't the cutest defensively, he is going to find you and he hits.
The contracts are being looked at, the verbal agreements are made, and the intent is there. 2026 is kicking off with the biggest domestic clash we've seen in years. The only question left is simple. Is Fabio Wardley really just a big smoke tune-up for Fury, or is he the banana skin that sends the Gypsy King into retirement for good? But we'd like to hear from you. Do you think Wardley can pull off an upset against the Gypsy King? Let us know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.